Shot of Steelers. My name is Chris Halleck. DK is in Minnesota getting ready to cover some hockey. So you guys got me solo today. And we have the whole setup this time. It's not just my computer sitting on a stand in the HQ here in downtown Pittsburgh. I'm actually kind of in the same spot, only it's a different camera, and that's fine. But I got the little bobbleheads here right next to me. I'm hoping I'm allowed to touch them. Maybe I shouldn't. Either way, thank you guys for coming in and watching today. Sorry we're a little late. We were getting this all set up. And yes, I am in HQ. I'm in downtown Pittsburgh at our HQ. I am in the big chair. So I definitely DK did not get younger. This is me. All right. DK is DK and I am Chris. I wish in some ways that I could be as good as DK at some things. And I'm sure DK wishes he could be as good as me at some other things too, especially when it comes to taste in music. I feel like I have the bet. No, I'm just okay. All right. So so the Steelers are 4-3. They're still in first place. And I am definitely, I've been going over, I definitely, if you guys haven't watched it yet, I definitely did a deep dive into this defense, what they are doing. And I feel like there is a narrative that's going around about this defense being too simple. And after watching the film and really looking at some of the things that they're doing, what they're asking the players to do, no, it's not. It's not. It's not simple, unfortunately. And actually, I'm just going to get straight to it. I asked Tara Lawson today that when things are getting so convoluted and things are getting, and you're seeing a lot of details getting out of whack on the back end, is it an option to try and simplify things? And here's the question and answer I had with Tara Lawson today.
Whenever you see the lack of detail on the back end and the way teams have been able to throw, do you consider maybe simplifying things? Not that you want to just play spot drop cover 3 all game or anything like that, but do you consider simplifying some things to make things a little easier so you execute better?
Yeah, again, that goes back to I think Greg's question at the beginning. What do we do? And so what am I doing in my process to help our guys so they understand the details and do that? And sometimes it means you cut some things back. Sometimes it means you cut some things out. Sometimes it's no change at all. But we look at everything and see what we have to do. And it is. It's we have to be in position. I think there's a lot of times you look at it. I think we've had some on both ends we've been in position to make it and we've lost, and other times we haven't been. So that's just kind of the nature of the game. And again, we'll just keep working in our process and trying to get our guys in the best position as we can. And again, if it means scaling back, we scale back. And we just go from there.
So I understand that the volume's a little low on that. Whenever we're recording that, I'm in the back of the media room, and Terrell Austin is at the front, and he's not loud. He doesn't project like Mike Tomlin. And so just to let everybody know what he said, I'll read the quote. He said, "That goes back to what we do. What am I doing in my process to help our guys so they understand the details? Sometimes that means you cut some things back. Sometimes that means you cut some things out. Sometimes it's no change at all. But we can look at everything and see what we have to do. We have to be in a position. I think there's a lot of times you look at it, and I think we've had some on both ends. We've been in position to make it and we've lost, and other times we haven't been. That's just the nature of the game. And again, we'll keep working at our process and try to get our guys in the best position as we can. And again, if that means we have to scale it back, we scale it back, then we'll just go from there." So that is what he said. Again, I think and this is my take, and we can have a conversation about it. So when we do come back from the break here in a few minutes, we'll do this more question and answer. And if we get a surprise pop up from DK, then obviously we'll bring DK into the show. But the take that I have here is I really believe that, especially going into a game like this, but even moving forward, this defense is bleeding and there is no tourniquet for it right now. And I really feel that if they can just simplify things, they're not trying to do too much, they're not asking their players to do too much, that they can then execute the coverages a little bit better, a little bit more consistently. Does that mean you have to sacrifice some disguising, some creativity? Sure. That's fine. But right now, with the way the offense is playing, the offense is averaging 25 points a game. And at 25 points a game, that's tied for 11th in the NFL, and that's tied for 11th alongside Sean McVay's Rams. And anytime you can put your offense in the same category as what Sean McVay is doing in any way, shape, or form, I'll take it. And so the defense at this point doesn't have to be top 5 as it was proclaimed to be. We can see that the issues are not going to make this defense a top 5 defense. And if they do have a turnaround, it will be a turnaround like we've not seen in a long, long time, maybe ever. But for right now, get the defense to be average. And I feel like if the defense can be average and you can hold teams to 22 or 23 points a game, 24 points a game, then you at least stand a chance. And maybe then on the offensive side, if you can go out and get a Jacoby Myers or get another legitimate WR2 and add a little bit more firepower on that side of the ball, then you stand an even better chance of being able to win more football games. And I love this. So they're not playing a KISS defense. Keep it simple, Steelers. No, they're not, unfortunately. And I urge you to go watch the Chalk Talk that I did. It uploaded overnight. YouTube was being really weird last night. That video took like 4 hours to upload. It was weird. It normally doesn't take that long to upload. It would have been up late last night if it weren't for that. But either way, you really, really see some of the things they're asking the defensive players to do in coverage, like having to go full-blown sprint to go cover something that's on the other side of the field, or to be up at the line of scrimmage and then to sprint back all the way back to be the deep third defender in cover 3, or to ask a player to blitz from being 10 yards off the ball when you never stand a chance of getting home ever. Like the quarterback's got to hold on to the ball for like 4 seconds for you to have a shot at getting home when you're blitzing from that far away. There are just certain things that they're doing schematically that they're trying to disguise. They're trying to throw the offense off, but it's like disguising for disguising's sake. There's no real purpose to it. And more importantly, it's putting players in a really difficult position to execute. And then on top of that, the issues are compounded by the players not playing well, by not tackling well, by taking bad angles to make tackles when they do keep things in front of them. So, yeah, it's a convoluted mess right now. And so when things are really complicated, sometimes the solution is to just simplify that things. And so that's why I pose the question, is it really that simple to just keep things simple? And after watching last year's defense, I get it. You don't want to watch a defense go into spot drop cover 3, down after down after down. I get it. It's boring, and it can absolutely, you can get shredded that way. And especially facing an offensive mind such as Shane Steichen, who has decimated the Mike Tomlin / Terrell Austin defenses over the years. He's faced them each of the past 3 seasons, and in each of the past 3 seasons, Shane Steichen's offenses have averaged 30 points a game. They've not turned the ball over one time, and that's with Jalen Hurts at quarterback, that's with Gardner Minshew at quarterback, and that's with the combination of Anthony Richardson and Joe Flacco at quarterback. This Sunday might be a lost cause no matter what, but you at least keep things simple. Maybe it's enough to at least hold the Colts to 28 points and your offense can go out and score 30. The Colts defense is absolutely able to be scored on. Yes, they do some things really, really well. Absolutely. I think they're a better defense than like their overall numbers, because a lot of teams have gotten into one-dimensional situations. They're having to throw the ball a lot. So naturally the Colts are near the bottom of the league in pass defense, because that's the only way teams are able to move the ball, because they're down 3 scores and can do nothing but throw in order to get back in the game. But I still believe with the way the Steelers offense is playing that they possibly could put up some points in this game. So maybe that's the solution. Simplify things, keep things from becoming a convoluted mess, and maybe, just maybe, you can win a shootout. Probably not, though. But either way, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will be joined by you guys as we get into kind of some Q&A stuff to talk Steelers football. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this.
For those of you who are doing real work in construction, in a warehouse, if you're a mechanic, you want reliable, comfortable gear to help you perform well on the job. Brunt Workwear's got you. They've got waterproof boots, safety toe, soft toe, pull-on, lace-up, whatever you need. You can wear them to work, and if they're not right for you, send them back. I don't know of any other brand doing that. Brunt was tired of the workwear brands out there cutting corners. You work too hard to be stuck in uncomfortable boots that don't hold up. So they built something better. Boots that are insanely comfortable and built for any job site. For a limited time, our listeners get $10 off. Just head to bruntworkwear.com. Use the code DK Sports and you're good to go. After you order, they'll ask you where you heard about Brunt. Do us a favor here at DK Pittsburgh Sports and tell them it was from this show.
Hey guys, welcome back to Double Shot of Steelers. Football season is in full swing, so it's time to check out the latest odds, futures, and win totals on the FanDuel Sportsbook. If you think the Steelers are going to cover the spread, which is, the Colts are only favored by 3.5 right now. It's kind of surprising, but if you think the Steelers are gonna cover that spread, or if you believe the Colts are absolutely going to shatter the Steelers and go beyond that 3.5, then lock in your bet today, because whatever your game, the FanDuel Sportsbook delivers the latest lines, futures, and specials, so you can join in on all the action. My voice changed real fast. Yeah, it happens sometimes, especially when you're getting over a cold. Skugworks asks, when was the last time this defense stopped an opponent in a meaningful game? That's a really good question. The defense has definitely underperformed in a lot of ways, not just this season, but in seasons past. There's one thing that I want to point out. I am not a proponent of total yards as a way to measure offense or defense. That's just not, again, that number more than anything, even just yards per game can be skewed in a number of ways, but especially passing yards game. And the Colts are a perfect example of this. The Colts get up on teams so fast and so early and by so much that the other team has no choice but to do nothing but throw to have any chance of getting back into the game. So naturally, the Colts have allowed a lot of passing yards because that's the only way teams have been able to possibly move the ball. And the Colts, of course, get into prevent defense at that point because they're just trying to keep everything in front of them. They'll give away some points, or not some points. They'll give away some yards to sacrifice, and then they'll keep a lid on things. Scoring, to me, is absolutely the better way to measure a defense, not by total yards. Total yards, sure, it can be nice. It's nice to be able to keep the other team to a lesser number of yards. They're not moving the ball on you, but keeping them out of the end zone. And I've brought all this up to say that the Steelers in the past few seasons, before this season, have actually been a top 10 scoring defense. So this idea that they've not been a top defense in recent seasons is actually incorrect. I don't remember exactly. I can look it up, from what it was last year, but I think the year prior, they were like 6th in scoring. 2024, I will look it up right now. The Steelers were 2, 4, 6. They were 8th in scoring defense last year. So that to me is the better way to evaluate a defense. But when you're talking about, like, especially when you're going to the playoffs and has the defense made these kind of stops, you look at Baltimore last season, you go back to the Kansas City game, to Buffalo, to Cleveland, the defense has not stopped anything. And so, yes, there are absolutely flaws on this defense that go way beyond, like, okay, well, we finished 6th in scoring, we finished 8th in scoring. That's great. But to your point, they don't make big stops. They don't have really big games. The last time the Steelers defense had a really big game, in my opinion, was Minnesota in Dublin. they played a really, really good defensive game. I understand the fourth quarter was the fourth quarter. I don't believe that was an issue that was like letting us know what was about to come. The issues that are happening now are different from what happened in the fourth quarter of that Minnesota game, because for Minnesota, it was 3 quarters of pure dominance. They were getting to in the backfield. They were sacking the quarterback. They were forcing takeaways. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's been bad. The defense has been bad, and it's definitely played under expectations for sure. Andrew says the worst ability is predictability. The NFL knows what Tomlin teams will do since the tape is the same for over a decade. So mix it up like they did against Minnesota and shock the Colts and win. I think mixing it up right now would be to keep things simple. They are. I looked it up today and I put it on our app and I wrote more in detail about keeping things simple. So I urge you to go download our app and to read my coverage there. They're 3rd in the league in blitz rate. They're 5th in the league in man coverage rate. They're trying this defense in which they are blitzing way more than they have in the past. They are playing more man coverage than they have in the past, and it's not working. This whole coverage people thing of just being able to play man-to-man against everybody all the time is not working. And that's why, do you just need to kind of go back? You have a lot of the guys who were here last year, just need to go back and kind of keep things simple. I can tell you, even without having to go back to last year's playbook, that, man, they probably have some basic cover 3 stuff, some basic cover 2 stuff, some basic cover 4 in that playbook. Just about every defense in the league has it. I'm not saying that's what you run for the entire game, but man, keep things simple. Keep things simple. Joseph says, Chris, great work on Chalk Talk. Wow, eye-opening. Need to simplify a play, straighten them up, and see how it goes. It can't get. I agree. That's what I'm seeing. Whenever I watch that film in the game against the Packers, it was just, you're asking your players to do way too much. You're putting your players in position. It's kind of the same situation as it was when Matt Canada was the offensive coordinator and Kenny Pickett was the quarterback. And I have definitely been critical of Kenny Pickett as a quarterback, and I think that's playing out. He's not starting in the NFL right now. But at the same time, a lot of what they were asking out of that offense was asking for players to execute in a very, very thin margin for error. And that's what this defense is. This defense, they're asking players to execute where if it's executed, it's going to work a lot of the time. It will. And that's why I can see where Mike Tomlin and Terrell Austin are coming from, that they believe that these schematics will stop offenses. The problem is that the margin for error is very, very small. And if they don't execute within that margin for error, that's a problem. And you're seeing it play out in real life. And when you have offensive minds like Zach Taylor and Matt LaFleur and Shane Steichen attacking this defense and knowing how to have an offense that's built very, very well on specific detail, they're going to know how to attack it. Hey, Chris, with the addition of the new safety, do you think they will play New England, the New England players on the back end? I actually do think that eventually, while Deshaun Elliott is out and for however long, we don't know how long it's going to be, that you could eventually see Kyle Duggar playing that strong safety, that box safety position that Deshaun Elliott was playing. And I do think that you could see Jabril Peppers playing that free safety spot. Now, I don't think that's ideally what they want for a free safety, but right now, with the type of play that you're getting from your safeties, from your secondary, there should be no stone unturned. I'm not one. I'm talking about maybe outside of benching Jalen Ramsey or benching Joey Porter. I think just about everything else is on the table. Because for the issues that are happening with Jalen Ramsey and Joey Porter Jr., they are still your 2 best players in the secondary, and they both can still make plays. But I think everything else should be on the table. Absolutely. Chris says they can't stop the run routinely. The middle gets torched on slants and crossers. What is the logical way to attack a D that will put emphasis on those? Steichen is going to try the deep third. Actually, Steichen, when they played the Colts last year, they attacked the window between the hook zone, the hook curl zone, and the curl flat zone in cover 3 repeatedly, over and over and over again. It was just exhausting to watch. It was just, there was that same window over and over again. Shane Steichen knows where the bones are buried in cover 3. He just does. And so that's why, again, maybe simplify things, but this might not be the week to do it. You might have to simplify things in terms of going more too high, like show some more cover 2, some cover 1 robber, something, anything where you're especially when you're talking about the slants and crossers, that attacking middle of the field, they've got to do something to take away the middle of the field. Cover 1 with a hole, cover 1 with a robber, whatever it is. And Justin says that's what 3 matches for. Yes, there's also cover 3 match. There's quarters match. There's match coverages, which can also be used. The Steelers don't use a lot of match coverage. They should. That's been one of the more recent trends in football, not just at the NFL level, but college. They're match quarters, match cover 3. You have a good amount of that going around the league right now. Unfortunately, the Steelers don't use a lot of that. William says, hey, Chris, in your opinion, do we have the players to run what they want to do? I don't see another cornerback right now that can be on the outside. Eccles is more of a slot corner. Eccles can play the outside. And I do think that you will see Eccles play the outside. They also have Corey Trice coming back. I don't know if he actually plays this Sunday. But I think that he deserves the shot with the way he played in training camp and the preseason, and even the way he's played this season. He's quietly been their best corner. Not as impactful, not made the big plays like Jalen Ramsey has. Jalen Ramsey has, of course, gotten in the interception column. He had the big play at the end of the Jets game to separate the ball from Garrett Wilson. But Brandon Eccles, in terms of consistency, I feel like he's been pretty good, and I'd like to see him be utilized on the outside more. But in terms of what they're being asked to do, it's hard to get any player to execute what they're asking the players to do. It's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Stanton asks, hey, Chris, do you agree with Big Ben that they should stick Ramsey on their tight end? I think it would work. I didn't hear Big Ben's podcast. I'm sure he has his ideas, and this is absolutely nothing against Ben whatsoever, because he knows way more about football than I ever will. I don't think it's just that simple of just running man-to-man against any player. It's just not that simple, because there are ways, and we're seeing it play out. There are ways for offenses to manipulate that. We've seen Joey Porter Jr. press up on Jamar Chase. We've seen press coverage up on receivers. And one way that they're doing this, that offensive coaches are circumventing this, is they are having natural rubs get in the way of getting to those players. Now, you can banjo coverage. You can do a number of different things to get out of that. But that also, when you're banjoing coverage, that, yes, you're playing man coverage at that point, but it's not as simple as, oh, Ramsey's going to be on Tyler Warren no matter what. Just, it's not that simple. Unfortunately, football's not as simple as it used to be. It's very, very complicated. Nathan says, we know the defense has been miserable. Is there anything uplifting about the defense stat-wise? Uplifting, they stopped the run pretty well against the Packers up until the very end. There are still some issues in the run fit in terms of like corners helping support. The one big run that they did have, the Packers had in that game, it was a duo run, and on duo, the running back is reading the play side linebacker, off ball linebacker. If the linebacker stays inside, then the running back bounces it to the outside. If the linebacker goes outside, then the running back stays inside and he attacks behind the double team blocks. If the linebacker stays on the inside, then you're relying on the corner to be on the outside. And the corner that was responsible on that run for the outside was Joey Porter Jr., and he was still backpedaling, as in defending a pass that wasn't there. And so there was no help there on the outside. And the corner's job at that point is to either make the tackle, but ideally what you'd like to do is force that running back to go back to the inside where your help is, where the bigger bodies can try to make the tackle. And Joey Porter Jr. was nowhere to be found. So there are still issues in run defense that are there, but encouraging is if they can stop the run, and they've played 7 games and they've stopped the run well in 4 of them. So that to me is uplifting. It sounds really, really just pessimistic, but man, it's hard to look at that. The defense is 30th overall right now. And I'm not going off of but it's not like the reason why they're giving up a bunch of yards is because they're getting so far up on, this is not the Colts situation where they're getting so far up on opponents and, teams are having to throw their way back in the games. No, they're just giving up yards because they're giving up yards. They're giving up, I have to look it up. But they're giving up a lot of yards per play. That's a good way to also evaluate when you're talking about evaluating the performance of a defense. Yards per play is a big one. And right now the Steelers are giving up 5.6 yards per play, which is 9th worst in the NFL. So still pretty bad. Why on earth would any quarterback take chances against our defense when checkdowns and screens will get 500 yards, 35 points, and no sacks? It's not even just checkdowns. It's throws to the flat. It's really, really easy slants, good play action concepts such as drift from the old Shanahan offense, which is no surprise that we saw it in a Matt LaFleur offense because LaFleur kind of comes from that school of thought. It's just offenses knowing how to attack. It's not just the checkdowns and the screens. But yeah, there is some merit to quarterbacks not feeling like they have to throw the ball downfield, and they're not. The Steelers actually have the 3rd lowest average depth of target against in the league right now. Why do you think that is? Well, number one, they know the Steelers are blitzing like crazy, so they want to get the ball out fast. And they're open. The slants are open. There's no hole defender in the middle of the field when they're in man coverage. The best way, honestly, to try to get the quarterback to hold on to the ball more often is to play zone and try to try to be really, really detailed in where you're supposed to be and hope that your 4 guys that you're paying, and you're paying TJ Watt a lot of money. You're paying Cam Hayward a lot of money. You've got a 1st-round pick in Derek Harmon. You've got Nick Herbig, who at this point in time, where we sit right now with performances right now, might be your best pass rusher. I would rely on those guys. That's what I do. At Mike Tomlin is a joke asks, Chris, at this point in your opinion, what does this fan base have to hold onto anymore for success from this team? It's the same thing every season, rinse and repeat. I get it. I understand it. I think what you're talking about, hope for the future or hope for this season or anything like that, is number one. Unfortunately, it's hard to see it right now, but Mike Tomlin does raise the floor of the team. He just does. That's why the team is no worse than 8-8 over 19 years. He raises the floor. That's why in seasons in which they had no business ever finishing 500 or above 500, they have. 2013, they started the season 0-4 and finished the season 8-8. 2019, when you lose Ben Roethlisberger after 6 quarters for the season, and your quarterbacks are a very inexperienced Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges, you end up finishing the season not just 500, but competing for a playoff spot up until the final week of the season. He raises the floor. When you're talking about the future, It's what Omar Khan is trying to build. He's trying to build he's trying to gather as many assets as possible and the potential of getting a franchise quarterback again. And Aaron Rodgers has been very, very good for the Steelers. He's provided the best quarterback play this team has had since pre-arm injury, Ben, but Aaron Rodgers is also not the quarterback he used to be either. He's not the MVP that he was in 2020 or 2021. I think he can still have some moments in which you're going to go, whoa, that guy, holy shnikes, where's that guy? And that's what happens. Father Time eliminates the number of times in which you can put the Superman cape on and be Superman. But what you really, really need, and when we're talking about hope for the future, is having the assets to go trade up and to go get your quarterback for the future. And Omar Khan is gathering those assets. I think that's why it would not be the most surprising thing in the world to me if the Steelers went past the trade deadline and Omar Khan did not part with a first-round pick, a second-round pick, or even a third-round pick to get any pieces that he wants for this season's team. It's because he knows, even though the 26 quarterback class isn't looking as good as it was before the season, it's still better than last year's class. And you might have an actual hope into getting that guy. William asks, Chris, are the players buying the schematic game plans that the coaches are selling? Well, they're trying. They're trying. Now, I have had some conversations with players off the record. Never going to give those conversations away. And I'd be lying if I said that there wasn't any frustration. But I don't think it's frustration in the way that you, the fan, would read into it, as if I hate this defense and Mike Tomlin doesn't know what he's talking about and Terrell Austin's an idiot, and not that kind of frustrated. But maybe the way that I can kind of give an inkling is maybe the give and take between the coaches and the players isn't as much as the players might want. But then again, that's not an isolated incident in Pittsburgh. Like, that's like, do you think all 32 teams or all the other 31 teams operate where there's an open door policy and whatever a player says, the coach is going to be like, you know what, you're right. I'm throwing out my game plan and you're right. We need to use more cover 4. Or we need to use more of this. And they just pencil in whatever the player is saying. It doesn't work like that usually. Usually what the coach says goes. And Mike Tomlin has been known for a long time to take player input and apply it to what they want to do. So I have not seen anything to this point in which the players are just completely just checked out. Like, they're just like, no, not at all. I haven't seen that. A couple more before we go. We're not going to make this an hour show. I'm by myself. I've got this water that's going to be saving my throat. But I don't have the hot Starbucks. Maybe I should have gone to Starbucks. Then I just shave the beard, get the Starbucks going, put the big hoodie on, and I would have done my DK impression for the day.
But then we don't have anybody for the box.
Yeah, but then we don't have anybody for the box. So yeah, okay. Then you could have been in the box.
Nope.
Mr. CJ Jr. says number 8 has exceeded my expectations so far. He's been very good for the team. He's been good in a number of different ways. And, I understand you might go and you might look at, yards per game or whatever meaningless stat you want to look at and be like, no, he's not a top 10 quarterback or whatever. I can tell you right now that the stuff that he is doing in the locker room, in the huddle, before the snap, working with the players, there is not a way to measure this. There's just not. We live in a day and age right now, especially in sports, where we can put our finger on just about everything. We try to make the intangible tangible. That's what we try to do with possession metrics in hockey and with pass rush win rate in football. And so many of these, we try to quantify every single thing that we possibly can, but there's no way to quantify the value in what Aaron Rodgers brings in the huddle before the snap. There's just no way to measure it, and it is insanely valuable. Very, very valuable. Mike Tomlin is a joke. Gets another word in. Chris, how's Howard looking? Any promise to his future? Do you think the Rooneys want to take a quarterback regardless? And first off, I don't like putting it on the Rooneys. It is not a Art Rooney decision every single time that they make a draft pick. It is a collective effort between Art Rooney II, Omar Khan, and Mike Tomlin. But Will Howard, I mean, he's looking like a rookie quarterback in practice. Now he's running scout team. He's making throws. I like seeing him throwing the ball again. It's hard to quantify it because I think what I'm trying to think of it. I'm really trying to think of the right way to say this without really trying to sound really, really mean. But there are, like, during training camp, nothing bugs me more than those who keep track of stats in training camp. It's the stupidest thing that's ever happened.
How do you really feel about it?
I hate it. Because the stats don't matter. And people will look at the stat because, again, you want to quantify performance somehow in training camp. And the only way that you can do it is to say, Will Howard completed 13 of 15 passes. You know what happened the last time decisions were made based off of training camp stats? Kent Graham started over Cordell Stewart. And for those Steelers fans who know what I'm talking about, my gosh, go back and watch Kent Graham play football for the Steelers in 2000. It was terrible. Kent Graham should have never been starting over Cordell Stewart in 2000. And Dave says training camp stats, yikes, it happens. I literally had a response on Twitter the other day of somebody throwing training camp stats in my way. And you don't even get a response at that point. You just don't. Like, no, I am more than irked by training camp stats. It's the most pointless. Pass rush win rate is 10 million times more valuable than training camp stats. I got so lost in the training camp stats that I forgot the point. Will Howard looks fine. He looks fine. I remember now. He looks fine. Again, there's no really way to quantify it right now. The best way to quantify it is for him to get into a game, and I can tell you right now that's not going to be happening. Things would have to go very, very badly for this season. I'm talking about on the offensive side of the ball. Clayton says, DK, that's one hell of a Chris costume. Well, I mean, it is. Tomorrow is Halloween, and maybe tomorrow I will wear my Halloween costume for the show. I almost don't want to give it away, but it's not anything over the. My wife, I will say what my wife and daughter are. My wife is going to be Glinda from Wicked, and my wife is going to be Elphaba.
That's really good.
She's going to green paint and everything. I mean,
You have to wear your costume now. Now you.
I'm not. No, my son and I are going to be something different from another.
Whatever it is, it's happening on a show.
Okay, it's happening on the show tomorrow. It's not going to be. You're going to be like, I thought you were going to wear a Halloween costume. I am, and I'll show you what it is. It's not anything crazy.
Just going as a sports reporter.
It's not.
I'm not going to have a show.
No, that's like a dentist going as an orthodontist or something stupid like that. Like, oh yeah, I'm not a dentist, I'm an orthodontist. That's all right. Last one from Randy. Chris, at this time, do you think Aaron Rodgers is 100% up to speed with all his potential weapons, or is he still looking to fire up his best games in the near future? I think Aaron Rodgers is playing. He's playing fine, and I think in terms of where the offense is going, in terms of like fire things up or having all the potential weapons, I don't think it's. Trying to think of the right way to put this. Like, the only way that they can add more is to like trade more, like go get Jacoby Myers or something like that. To me, the trajectory of the offense is good on what they have internally. To me, the biggest concern for specifically for this game is, do they keep the jumbo package in place? Because if Isaac Seumalo doesn't play, and then Spencer Anderson has to kick inside and play and start at left guard, like, do they just completely scrap it? Do they find somebody else to play left guard on when they want to run it, and so that Spence can stay in that extra lineman spot? And Arthur Smith was asked about it today, and he said, that's a good question. I'll let the Colts defense find out on Sunday, and that's the right answer. Michael says Chris is going to be chalk talk and a piece of chalk with a mouth. I can tell you right now, no. I am not going to be chalk talk. I'm not going to be a sports reporter. Dave, I'm not going to be Steely McBeam. There were some other ones in here that were really, really funny, but no, that's. I'm telling you, it's going to be. You guys are going to build this up overnight, and you're going to build this up throughout the day tomorrow. And as soon as you get the alert that the show's going to be going live at 4 or whatever it is, and you're going to be really, really ready for what I'm going to be for Halloween, and then once you see it, you're going to be like, "That was a dud," and yeah, that's what it is. I'm not going as my boss. The only thing that I could do to possibly, like, my DK costume would be put a hoodie on and then just walk around with a Starbucks in my hand. That would be my DK costume. But even that, yeah, I don't know. But it's also not hard to be a Chris costume, because all you need for me are you need the hat, you need the hoodie, you need the jeans and the Jordans, and you've yeah. I'm not ready for Chris without a hat. Yeah, I mean, when the hairline starts receding, you gotta cover it up, and this is the male version of makeup, for the hair.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's the acceptable makeup.
Yeah, it's acceptable makeup for the receding hairline, and also waking up and not feeling, you took a shower the night before, you don't feel like doing your hair when you wake up, so you just throw the hat on. It's easy. If I dress up, this is good. The last one for sure. If I dress up as Chris, can I meet Linkin Park too? Dude, still. Like, talk about like favorite points of the year, meeting Linkin Park. And this is my Linkin Park hoodie from that concert that night. Whoo, man. Yeah. That's like one of my favorite parts of the year. So favorite parts of the year. Mike in Texas says Chris embrace bald. It's not bald, it's just receding, and I don't like it. Also, I don't feel like doing my hair in the morning.
No, everybody's going to think you're bald.
Jose says Chris is going as me and I'm going to be him. Oh, man. Jose and I were on the south side today, and then we covered Penguins on Monday night. Jose said something. It deserves to be repeated on the show. He said something Monday night. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, yeah. He said, my team can't score runs. Your team can't stop anybody. Our pets' heads are falling off. And like, it's the quote to Dumb and Dumber. And I literally laughed. And it's still like one of my favorite things that's ever been said, like ever to me. So it was hilarious. Anyway, that'll do it for today. We really appreciate you guys tuning in to Double Shot of Steelers. Thank you for holding the fort down with me, doing this Q&A. Really appreciate it. And we'll be back tomorrow. Maybe it'll just be me. Maybe it'll be me and DK. We'll find out. Either way, when we come back tomorrow, it will be Halloween, and you will see my very underwhelming Halloween costume. But it needs to be undersold. It needs to be undersold. Catch you guys tomorrow. We'll see you later.